There are hundreds of classic video games that revolutionized the gaming industry, so it's to be expected that there would be a desire to cash in on their success. How, you ask? By making them into movies. In today's List Bomb, we take a look at the top 8 worst video game movie adaptations. Number 8. Need for Speed. This 2014 drama action based on the video game by Electronic Arts brought the fun of the franchise to the big screen. However, for some, it was a bit too cliché. Though Breaking Bad's Aaron Paul delivered a fair performance, it seemed the director tried a little too hard to model him into a Paul Walker. There were dramatic moments in the movie that were obviously geared at trying to elicit some sort of emotion from the viewers, but they seemed to come off a bit flat. Even though many fans did enjoy the adaptation of their much-beloved franchise, there were many that felt the movie was a cliché, shaky camera, and badly written attempt at becoming the next Fast and the Furious. Number 7. Mortal Kombat: Annihilation. Since Mortal Kombat made its appearance in the gaming world in 1992, it has gone down as one of the most incredible games in history and was one of the best fighting games in the 90s. It only stands to reason that there would be some capitalization off the gamers for film. However, this second installment of the Mortal Kombat movie proved to be a huge disappointment to the fan base due to the shallow portrayal of the characters, horrific acting, and issues with continuity. Number 6. Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li. This movie adaptation of Street Fighter was based on the famous arcade fighting game developed by Capcom and features Chun-Li as the main character. Being the first female character in the game, Chun-Li has made a historical imprint on the Street Fighter franchise, so it makes sense that they would try to make a movie in her honor. However, though the movie seems to start out decently, it is apparent as it progresses how badly written the script is. The fight between Chun-Li and Vega was a bit disappointing to fans, and the only thing that made it slightly worth watching was the journey of Chun-Li's character and the opening fight scene. Interestingly enough, this movie is directed by the same person who directed Doom, which is actually next on our list. Number 5. Doom. Though, according to most reviewers, it wasn't a terrible movie, the 2005 movie adaptation of the game Doom left some fans a bit upset due to the plot having nothing to do with the original game. Also, since it was a movie adaptation, fans were expecting a little more than the actors merely walking around corridors with guns. There was clearly no objective to the movie. Furthermore, Doom was supposed to be about an invasion from hell, whereas the movie makers made it about genetic experiments, rendering it the name Resident Evil in Space. Number 4. Lara Croft: Tomb Raider: The Cradle of Life. The movie was based on the Tomb Raider franchise, but unlike the game, which is adored by many, the film adaptation came off a bit idiotic with unrealistic situations and underdeveloped characters. It also didn't help that Angelina Jolie failed at delivering a British accent, which came off as embarrassingly phony to many. Also, in nearly all the action scenes, the cuts were very jarring, and the camera was too close to really make out clearly what was going on, which seems to be a blatant attempt at hiding the possibility that the director didn't have the money to choreograph the fights well. Number 3. DOA: Dead or Alive. This adaptation was based on the Dead or Alive fighting game by Tecmo. The film seemed to have cashed in on the game via catering to young boys and dirty old men, sporting beautiful women in bikinis battling it out, which is basically what the game is about. However, there are 2 reasons it seems numerous viewers were disquieted with the movie. Number 1, the plot was a bit on the bare side, and number 2, they took it too serious. DOA was nothing more than a fan service film, with a lot of action and girls in bikinis moving in slow motion, which isn't terrible. Number 2, Blood Rain. This 2005 movie adaptation of Terminal Reality's Blood Rain, the game, is deemed one of the most absolute and unbearable of the bunch. The story was virtually non-existent, and the stifled and cliché dialogue alongside the continuity issues the movie presented made it quite painful for many to watch. Not only was there poor character development, but every aspect of the movie seemed to showcase the example of what a director should not do. Number 1. Super Mario Bros. Super Mario Bros. Earns number 1 on today's list because it's the most poorly constructed movie based on its video game counterpart, according to reviewers. This movie was clearly not meant to be taken serious, with lines such as, "Trust the fungus." Also, it clearly didn't possess the Super Mario Bros. Feel. Super Mario Bros. Is generally regarded as the worst video game movie ever made. However, if you're inebriated while you watch this movie, you'll likely enjoy the hell out of it. So guys, tell me, which game to movie adaptation on this list or not do you think was the worst? Leave your comments in the description below.